What's up guys, Card Protagonist here, and today I'll be doing an awesome deck profile on my personal Gold Paladin deck. So many of you guys have been asking me, Card Protagonist, what deck should I build, which is not really expensive, and this deck is one that I can really recommend. But because of the new support that is revealed in the next booster set, I might not be sure whether this card is going to rise in price, but for now I believe this card is really cheap, which is Gold Dragon Glorious Reigning Dragon. This card is from GBD8 and it is a very powerful card. And for some reason there's not many Gold Paladin players, so it makes me really unique for as a Gold Paladin user, and I'm really happy about it. So this deck is really cheap to make and it is really powerful. I'll be explaining most of the effects for you guys, and tell me what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Alright, so let's begin the deck profile. First off, we're gonna play 4 copies of Gurguit, our main grade 3 of the deck. So Gurgits are really cheap to get. Basically, they are from the G-Start deck, which is like $9 per trial deck, I believe. So what Gurguit does is, let us go on to his basic Strike Big skill. Basically, his Strike Big skills allows you to, whenever you perform Strike, count +1 and look at top 4 cards of the deck, and choose one of those units and superior call to a rearguard circle, and that unit gets a 2 gate power. Shuffle back the rest of the units back into your deck. Very good card, because whenever you perform Strike, you're able to tutor up 1 unit from the top 4 cards of the deck, which is very consistent because you're looking at top 4 instead of randomly superior calling the top deck, which might be a trigger. So 1 Count Blast to fill up 1 rearguard for free. That's very nice. And second ability is GB2 skill. So this is one of my very favorite skill, because a lot of times this skill save my butt. So basically what it does is GB2. So when you have 2 face-up cards in your G zone face-up, you can activate skill. Whenever you're getting attacked, you can pay the cost of Con +1 and Soul +1. If you do, look at top 4 cards of the deck and superior call one of those cards into your Guardian Circle. So what you can do is, sometimes if you're really lucky, you can actually call a perfect card to your Guardian Circle from the top 4 and discard 1. So basically you're like pulling off a free perfect guard to stop the insane amount of attack. That's the reason why I play this perfect guard in my deck. You can play G perfect guards, but if you're using G perfect guards, you cannot use its perfect guard ability, because G perfect guard requires you to call it from your hand. But this skill is from your deck, so you can only use original perfect guards with Gurgit skill. So yeah. So the reason why Gurgit is played is because it is a strike rate skill, and no reason. And it's the cool thing about Gold Paladin is it's not necessary for you to write Gurgit, because that's why I play 3 copies of Grand Ezo Caesars. Very good card, especially if your opponent is playing a grade 1 Rush or Link Jokers, because Ezo Caesars allows you to limit break, which gives you additional 10k power and additional crit. So your opponent, if they refuse to write grade 3, you just write this on them and watch them squirm. Second ability is, for each Gold Paladin control, he gains 1k power. So if you have full field, you gain additional 5k power, which means your opponent will be guarding for additional 5ks. So yeah, if your opponent refuses to, just want to play the Great Lock game, write this on them and watch them squirm. Alright, another reason why this card is good is because if you're playing against Link Jokers, you can unlock all your rearguards at the cost of Con +2 and Soul +2. And at the end of turn, if you have 5 more rearguards, you can Con charge 1 and Soul charge 1 anyway, so making that skill, that 10k 1 crit skill, technically a Con +1 and Soul +1, which is very cheap. And you can unlock all units, so even your units are Omega locked by Big Crunch Dragon, you can always unlock it for free and swing in really hard. So yeah, that's the grade 3 lineups. The reason why I play Ezo as another backup grade 3 is because I also played the Ezo Strike, which is a very good strike, by the way, guys. So that's a grade 3 lineup. Actually, I'll just put it right here, so that you guys can refer the deck list. Oh, damn it, glare. Alright, so grade 2s. 4 copies of Dog. Basically, Dog is Unite. So what Unite does is, when you place a card on place 2 cards onto your rearguard circle or your Guardian Circle this turn, you can trigger the Unite. So it's very easy. Basically, call 2 cards onto your field by any method from your hand or from your deck. So you can use this guy to fuel for your for your Unite skill. Sorry, I keep confusing Brave with Unite. Sorry, because I use both decks very often. So when you're in Unite, this unit gets us 5k power. So additional 5k off your opponent to guard. So very, very good card, especially with the super calling being very free in this deck. So normally this guy is gonna swing for huge numbers against opponent. 3 copies of this guy. This guy is a new card from GBD8. When this unit is called to the Reguard circle, you may counter blast 1 and soul blast 1. If you do super call, look at the top 3 cards of the deck and super call one of them, and then shuffle back the rest of them to the bottom of the deck. No, you don't shuffle. It plays at the bottom of the deck in any order. And if you control a Gurguit Vanguard, yeah, if you control a Gurguit Vanguard, that unit and the super call unit and this unit gets a 3k power. So if you're gonna call a unit back at the back row, it's gonna gain a additional 6k to that column. So your opponent you gotta guard for additional shields of their hands. Very good card. 3 copies of this Twin Swords clone. Knights of Twin Sword clone. When this unit attack and is boosted, you can counter blast 1. If you do, look at top 3 cards of the deck and choose one of those units and call it to your Reguard circle. So basically you're getting a free unit. It's also good because you can do additional attacks during your battle phase. So after your attacks, you can call another card. If you're lucky to call Doggy, you can attack for additional cards of your opponent's hand. So yeah, combine it with a Scourge Point Dragon and you're gonna swing for even higher numbers. Alright, and lastly, 2 copies of this card. He is from, I think he's, no idea what's his name. So he's basically our Unite. He swings for 11k when he's in Unite, and when this unit enters the Reguard circle, you can counter blast 1 and look at top 3 cards of the deck and super call 1 of that at the back row. So the only difference between him and him is this guy is a cheaper cost by 1 soul blast, but he is limited to only calling cards behind him, and you can call into your opposite Reguard circle, a grade 2 or grade 1. So yeah, so you can mix and match if you want. Another alternative you can go is the GBT8 common card, which is a resist and is a 12k attacker. So you can use her as well. But I use this because I want to fill up my Reguards faster. It's all up to player preference. You can play whatever you want. So yeah, that's a grade 2 lineup. So the grade 1 lineup, I'm going to clear up the table. It's getting too messy already. Right, I play more grade 2s in this deck because the grade 2s are really good. And I don't have problems drawing my grade 3s. So yeah. Next is for grade 1s, you play 4 copies of original Perfect Guards because you can use it in relation to Gurgit's defensive skill. 4 copies of Gurgit Searcher. So if you don't draw into your Gurgits, you can always call it to Reguard circle and search out your Gurgit. And it's a strike helper as well. This is a strike deck, so definitely play 4. So 4 copies of this new card. This card is freaking amazing. So basically this is a peer, but in Unite form. Unite, whenever a card is placed on the Reguard circle, select 2 units on the same column as this card. So basically what you're gonna do is, let's say your column is like this. So whenever you call cards from your hand or super call from the deck, you gain plus 2k plus 2k. So basically it's peer. So if you call more units, you get plus 2 plus 2k. So later I'll be showing you a combo of how you can power up your Reguards even more into huge numbers using Raining Dragon skill. And 2 copies of him. Brandon, alright. Is his name Brandon? I forgot. So basically when this unit attack and is boosted at the end of the battle, go into your soul and you can draw 1 card. Very good because you can clear your slots for super calling more units the next turn. And more so means you can spam Gurgit skill even more, which is always a good thing. So let's go on to our triggers. The trigger lineup, I do not play draws because this deck will tend to deck out your play draws. 4 copies of Lion. When you attack with a Gurguit Vanguard, you can enter your soul and you can draw 1 card and your Gurguit can gain plus 5k power. So great because you can fill up your soul, which is very important in this deck. And yeah, it's still good. So even if it's being superior call, you can attack swing with Gurgit. And then when Gurgit swing, can go into soul. So you get pumped at soul. And again plus additional 5k, which is nice. 4 copies of Flame of Victory. It's great for it's basically a Maga clone. Go to your soul, should select a unique gift of 3k to fix magic numbers. So definitely play 4 copies of him. 4 copies of the Stand Trigger. This Stand Trigger is freaking amazing. When you're in Unite, this unit gets a 3k power and a skill. When this unit, at the end of battle, when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you can make him go into soul and counter charge 1. So basically he is a 7k booster and helps you unflip damage and powers and gives you cards into your soul. The perfect card this deck needs. So definitely play 4 copies of this because this card is simply amazing. A 7k booster, counter charges and gives you free soul. 4 copies of Hue Trigger because she looks very cute. So, and she's my lucky Hue Trigger. I always def Hue with her. And G Guardians are too good to not play. So line up 8 crits, 4 heals and 4 stands. And finally starter is Unite. So you can only activate his skill after you call 2 units onto your field during a turn. Unite, this guy goes into your soul and look at top 3 cards of the deck and super call one of them. And the new unit gains plus 2k power and shuffle the rest back into your deck. So it's very good because you combine with cards like Scourge Point, you gain additional superior core, which means you are going to gain additional power for your new units and Scourge Point. So yeah, let's get on to the strike zones. The strike cards are very, very awesome for GBD8, and I can't wait for the new Gurguit support in the next set as well. So prepare your strike zones. 4 copies of Gold Dragon, Glorious Reigning Dragon. This card is so amazing. Basically, if you guys like Night Rose, this sweet card is basically Night Rose on steroid. So when this unit attacks the Vanguard, you must counterblast 1 and flip a copy of Raging Dragon face up. So when this unit attacks, select 2 cards on your field and send back to your bottom of the deck, and then look at the top 7 cards of the deck. For each card face up in your G zone, so most likely you're going to use this as a second strike onwards. Second strike or more. For each face up card in your G zone, you can super call 1 of those cards within the 7 cards. And if you super call 3 cards this way, you can counter charge 1 and soul charge 1. So what this means is, if you are super calling 3 units this way, you are basically getting a free. This skill is basically a free of cost, and you can get a free soul charge, which is always good for Gurguit finishing move. You know what I mean? And so basically, what this does is, okay. So I'm going to show you an example how this works. So you perform strike on Gurguit. I'm going to show you the best setup you can get with this deck. Alright, so you're going to have something like this. So let's say you have 2 Gurgits on your field. There's some random attackers. You can like just swing this, maybe attack the rear guard, then attack a rear guard maybe, or you can attack the Vanguard for 5k guard. Attack with Reigning Dragon skill, send back bottom 2. And let's say this is your second strike, so most likely, and maybe you perform a G Guardian just now. So your first strike, most likely your first strike is going to be Scourge Point Dragon. So Scourge Point face up already. So let's say you use a G Guardian just now to protect against an attack. And when this unit attacks, you must counterblast 1 and flip up face up 1, and send back 2 cards. So you really send back 2 cards to the bottom of the deck, and look at top 7 cards and super call 3 cards because you got 3 cards face up in your G zone. That's for your second strike probably. So let's say you super call 2 random units and maybe a random trigger. So basically, you're gaining additional 2 attacks, which is similar to Night Rose. Night Rose give you additional 2 free attacks, and because you have these boosters on the field, your rear guard's gonna gain additional power. I'm gonna use dice to explain this because this is a lot of power gain. So basically, because of this skill, you caught 3 units. So for each unit caught, gain us 2k. So you're gonna gain by 6k. Front row gain by 6k as well. 6k, easy. So basically, just like that, you're gaining additional 2 attacks and 2 powerful attacks because you have him on the field. So yeah, that's huge numbers to get. Yeah, you can't boost with the unit gets caught. So I hope you guys understand what this means. This means this card attacks, send back 2 cards, so you're gonna gain additional 2 attacks with potentially power ups if you have cards like these on the field. So 2 free attacks. Yeah, and best part is this deck, if you're fighting against Kagero and your field getting burned, you can still call more units. So later in the game, you can use the skill one more time and you can call even more units. Yeah. So that's why it's a very, very powerful skill, because it's a Night Rose for free of cost and additional soul charge. And you can call more than 5 units. So let's say next turn you're going to use Raining Dragon skill again. You're probably going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to call a full field. So you can just attack your whole field, then call more units to attack again. So that's why this card is very, very, very good. I really like him. Basically, he's the perfect boss monster compared to the previous Gold Dragon, which is like pretty sad. This guy's actually very good. It's a free cost, and it gives you free soul charge, so that you can finish your opponent off with your Gurguit. If your opponent doesn't die with these two, which I clap for him, you can just call Gurguit. Most likely because of all units, all his costs being free. Count blast 5. Let's see how he survives that. Yeah, that day I actually fought using this deck, and your opponent got it for 100k with this, and it's like if you don't have 3 perfect guards, you're dead. Alright, because my both rare cards are like 70k guard, 70k guard, and 100k guard. So it's freaking amazing. Alright, next up is 4 copies of Azo. Azo is also a very good card. I tend to write Azo if I'm fighting against Link Jokos, because Azo's skill is activate, counter blast 1, and flip a copy of yourself face up. If you do, unlock all units you control, even Omega Lock, and look at top 5 cards of the deck and super call one of them. And the Azo and that unit gains power equals to that unit call. So for example, let's say I look at top 5, I super call this. Azo gains 9k, he gains 9k. So this guy is most likely going to guard for additional tank 2k, 2 cards off his hand, since gain plus 9k is almost, if it fixes magic numbers, your opponent's definitely got to get guard for additional 2 cards off his hand. So amazing card. When your opponent uses Omega Lock, use this and screw him over and get free units and power up attacks. Very, very good card. You can even use it as first strike because it is not GB2. And the best part is, even if you let's say happen to write Azo, let's say you're writing Azo, first strike you use Azo skill, end of strike you should have 2, so when you strike Glorious Dragon, you can immediately use 3 cards and counter charge and soul charge for free, without like using Scourge Point in the first game. So if you're writing this card, most likely you're gonna go for Scourge Point first strike. If you write Azo, go first strike as Azo. Easy game. So there's no good and bad writes in this deck. This is what makes the deck really amazing. So yeah, 4 copies of Azo, because it is just so good against Link Jokers. You can play the other Grade 3 Vanguards if you want, but I personally play Azo because my meta has a lot of Chaos Breakers as well. So 1 copy of Scourge Point Dragon. If you're riding on Gurguit, this is your first strike. Because with first strike, you can super cost so much stuff, especially with the starter. Normally with my first strike, my opponent normally be at 4 to 5 damage. So I can like just go to Raining Dragon and finish off the job, or if they survive, you can just go this and swing for game. So Scourge Point is an amazing card. You can play 1 to 2 copies, it's up to you, player preference. And next up is 2 copies of the Gurguit Grade 4. Basically his skill is GB2, activate Unite, so you must at least call 2 units during a turn before you can use his skill. So if you do not call 2 units somehow, you cannot pull off his skill. Unite, Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 2. Select 5 units on the field and it gains us 5k power, and for each unit you control, it gains us 5k power. So imagine this, you have all units gains us 5k, so you can imagine the huge power. Probably done this deck before and show you how scary this card can get. So with the new boss monster Raining Dragon, since you have so much Counter Blast, you can basically spam it on your final turn. So it's very easy for you to get this like 5k. So it's like you have 5 units, this unit could gain this much. Use 2 times, you gain so much dices. It's like I run out of dice when I use this deck. So very powerful card. The best part about this deck is budget, because you only need to play 1 to 2 copies. Sometimes only use 1 copy at most. 2 copies is actually 1 is enough actually. Up to you. You can maybe just use 1 more Scourge Point if you want, because Scourge Point is also a very good card. So if you're playing budget, play more Scourge Points. If you're got money, just play 2. 1 copy of Sabris, because this deck is a G deck. So if sometimes you do not write into your Azo, you can just Surprise and punish them. Yeah, very good card. It's a G deck, so yeah. Damn it, I ate the spicy noodle and it's still making my body tremble right now. Now for G Guardians, I play 3 copies of this one. Basically, when this unit enters the Guardian Circle, you can, if you control 2 or more units, is a 20k shield. Very easy 20k shield. Since this deck is a super calling deck, you'll always have a full field. And Meow Meow, slimy G Guardian. When this unit enters the Guardian Circle, select 1 unit on your field and send it back to the bottom of the deck, and then look at the top 5 cards of the deck and choose any 2 different gates from them and add them to your shields. So use this card. You can return the heal trigger you unfortunately super caught just now. Look at top 5 cards of the deck. Maybe you get a trigger, maybe like a stand trigger and a grade 1 or grade 2. You can add to guarding, so it is like basically 30k shield for 1 card. Very, very good card. Especially amazing against Diablo decks. For example, if they retire your whole field and you have nothing left, you can use this to protect yourself. Easy 30k shield. So yeah. So that's pretty much the deck profile. So I hope you guys enjoy that. Hope you guys enjoy my deck profile on my personal Go Paladin deck. You guys can mix and match however you want, but this is my playstyle. So yeah. So if you like more videos like this, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel and follow my Facebook. Peace out and love you guys. Rawr.